What's up? Yeah, I still exist. I just, stopped posting for literally no reason. I really didn't know what to say, to be honest. Sorry. But anyways, I've been planning on uploading a Zelda Ocarina of Time versus Majora's Mask video, but I never really got around to making it, so I'm just gonna make this video simply because I actually feel like making this video, unlike the Zelda one. And this video is very obviously my list of the top 10 best Sonic games. And I just want to say, if for somebody who usually enjoys some more commonly like Sonic games and don't at all expect for this list to have your favorite games on it, my list is going to be a whole lot different compared to others. And no, this video is not a joke. I'm being 100% serious in this list. And I don't mean that I like games like Sonic and the Secret Rings, 06, or Blast. No, none of those. But I do like games like Sonic Lost World and Sonic 4. So, now let's actually get started. Number 10, Sonic Mania. Yeah, man, this is a clear example of how different my ranking is going to be. So this game is no doubt amazing in its own ways, but I feel that it's only because the other classic games are amazing. And yes, there is definitely some things that only this game has, if we're only counting the classics, like the characters Mighty and Ray that we haven't seen in a while. That isn't really surprising considering both the games are so to this day absolutely terrible, but whatever, that's just some stupid little 90s games. Yeah, so Mania is a very good game. They bring back the Blue Spear special stages from Sonic 3 and the Sonic CD special stages, but I honestly hate those special stages. I enjoyed them in CD, but this time you have to chase down a UFO in the special stages compared to just needing to run and hit them before. And it's also annoying to catch the UFO since it's way too fast to compare to your speed. I also really like the remixes in this game though, but there's just not enough Sonic CD in the game. Same thing goes for Sonic 3 as well. But I wouldn't even really recommend this being the first classic game that you play. First play Sonic 1, then 2, then 3, then move on to the obscure CD. And then since you'll be more familiar with everything in the classic games, you'll have an easier time getting through the stages. Like for example, the boss of Act 1 or 2 in Green Hill Zone is the final boss of Sonic 2. Yeah, sure, it's actually quite a bit different since you actually have rings and, its attack so much different and it's moving and it's very easy compared to that bullcrap 1 and 2. But still, bro, do you see how obscure this is? And that's why I think you should play the other classics first. Number 9, Sonic 4. I'm not even going to separate episode 1 and 2 apart, but this is no doubt the most hated 2D Sonic game of all time. But man, I still like it regardless. I think that episode 2 is definitely superior to episode 1. The character model for Sonic is way better, the level design is not a slog anymore. Things like that. So I'm just going to start talking about episode 1 first. So I'd rank this game about a 7.5 out of 10. Now yes, there's no doubt it doesn't sound like a very good rating, but considering everybody hates this game for valid reasons and I like the game, I think you should expect a little mix of both opinions. And compared to somebody who hates the game, a 7.5 would kind of look like an 11.2 to be honest. So yeah, like I said, I like this game. And episode 1's bosses honestly are terrible. Yeah, I'm being serious. Trust me, man, there's stuff even worse in the franchise, but I still really don't think that the music's that good, to be honest with you also. And every single zone is literally just a zone from Sonic 1 or 2, but with a different name. Like Spot Shell was literally just Green Hill Zone. Casino Street's literally just Casino Night with cards shoved in your face every 5 seconds. Lots of Labyrinth didn't even try to be different from Labyrinth Zone from the first game. But besides this, and this, those are just terrible sections in the game, so screw those. Mad Gear Zone is literally just Metropolis Zone from Sonic 2. And X Station Zone is literally just the death thing. At least I think there's a zone called Metropolis Zone in Sonic 2, but if you look at Mad Gear and you know the zones from Sonic 2, I'm pretty sure that it will look very familiar. So, yeah, man, that's really all I've got to say about episode 1. But episode 2, oh my god, man, this game is amazing. This is actually one of the first 2D Sonic games that I ever played. It wasn't literally the first one, but it was definitely one of them. And the only reason that I ever really got to playing it was because it was free on mobile iPad, so I just put it on my old iPad when I was there. I never really got past White Part Zone. I don't know, man, I was really stupid and I didn't know that you just had to push the snowball to progress. The zones aren't carbon copies of the ones from the classic games. The music is actually really good. And well, Tails, I guess. The only decently good thing about Tails is his gimmick, which, well, isn't even that good. Basically, you can use Tails to fly for about, like, 0.2 seconds, and you can do what I like to call the Ultra Spin Dash. It's not really actually called the Ultra Spin Dash, but I usually call it that. It's basically just a spin dash, but you go much, much faster, and you are now invincible. And with that said, that's Sonic 4 for you. Now let's continue to number 8. Sonic Lost World. Yeah, we're continuing with another really, really hated game. This is the game that I'll likely have the least amount of stuff to talk about, but, you know, whatever, man. People are always saying that this game is way too much like Mario Galaxy and that the game sucks. But I personally consider this to be one of the best games in the entire franchise. The reason that people say this game is like Mario Galaxy is because of the gravity physics. I personally never once had a problem with them, to be honest, but, you know, like, you can run up walls. What's wrong with that, bro? What's wrong with being able to run up walls? I will have to admit, the music is, well, kind of terrible. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of bad compared to the others, but, you know, hey, at least you've got a fun Sonic game you could play, you know, and probably get bored of. I still like the game. I do. Let's move on. Sonic CD. Yeah, I mean, this is actually considered the lost classic Sonic game. And well, that honestly makes a lot of sense, considering you had to buy a whole entire $300 add-on for a console that was on its own already $163. This game is much, much, much different from the other classics in the series. Both Sonic 2 and CD were being worked on at the same time, so both games had some differences. Like the Spin Dash, for example. The Spin Dash in the original CD really sucked, to be honest. There was no spam the A button to determine how fast you go. It was just hold the A button and then you go your max speed, which is, by the way, incredibly slow. And yeah, there is also the super peel out, but it literally just shoots you up forward and you have no way of protecting yourself. Now, yeah, you could use the super peel out and then roll into a ball, but I actually don't really remember ever trying that on my playthrough. So I'm not sure if you still go the same speed or if you just lose your speed when rolling into a ball. But I wouldn't at all be surprised if you literally just lost your speed. But at least in Christian Whitehead's re-releases of the game, you actually have, you know, the good spin dash, not the bad one. Tails was also absent from this game, but to be honest, I don't really care that much that he's not here. Like, Tails really didn't add anything to Sonic 2, but I do actually think it would have been a nice touch if he was still in the game. But this game's got a really, really good theme song too. But there's actually two! The Japanese song is called You Can Do Anything, but everybody just calls it Toot Toot Sonic Warrior. Since that's for some weird reason a lyric in the song, I don't really know how they came up with Toot Toot Sonic Warrior, but okay, I guess. And the American song is called Sonic Boom. I've got to say, Toot Toot Sonic Warrior is definitely better. But the game itself is really different from what you would expect if you played the first two games before this one. Sam dived right into the first stage, and I'm already noticing that the color palettes are large AF. Already more colors than Sonic 1 or 2 could even dream of having. I think the level design of this game is actually pretty good. There's really not a single death pit in the game. Like, anywhere, so I can understand why some people would consider the design of this game boring. And my flip, these bosses are terrible, dude. These are terrible. The first one's meant to be a tiny bit hard, I think. But they didn't even think of you being able to go to the far right side of the screen and just spam them. Well, to be honest, they probably did actually think of this. They probably were aware of it, but they just didn't care. I mean, I really don't know if it's lucky or not, but they probably just didn't even care and they were aware. Also, just plain out annoying, like collision chaos, for example. This isn't even really like a boss. It's just basically using springs and whatever the heck not to traverse your way across this overly complicated design. But at least this game has some of the best music found in the franchise, I guess. But man, this game is very obscure. There's a lot of flaws, but you know, that's why it's at number 7. So let's freaking move on. Number 6, it's going to be Sonic Generations. And this is no doubt the most overrated modern / new-ish game in the franchise. The main problem I have with this game is simply the controls. It's way too hard to explain, so I can't really say much about it. The design's good enough, I guess, but the classic Sonic stages are slow to get through simply because of, like I said before, the freaking controls. They're terrible. I don't at all hate the game. It's just the controls make it so much harder to get through than it needs to be. I think the choices for stages are good enough, but Planet Wish from Sonic Colors is absolutely terrible in this game. This game is absolutely always going to be considered the worst stage of the game, and I really can't say that they're lying. I can't really say that you're lying either if this is your opinion. I could think of so much better choices for the game, like Tropical Resort or Aquarium Park. But no, we got the worst choice possible. Freaking Planet Wisp with this stupid pink spikeless thingy. I hate this guy. My gosh. But I do think that the music is pretty good, which isn't really surprising. And they also didn't choose any stages from Sonic and the Black Knight or Secret Rings, which kind of sucks to be honest, but that's about all I've got to say. So yeah, let's move on. Number 5, Sonic Adventure 2, otherwise known as SA2 for short. This was the game that introduced the one and only Shadow the Hedgehog, who is of course the best Sonic character known to date of absolute all time. This game's got a lot like Sonic Adventure 1. You've got multiple playstyles. In this game there's only 3 opposed to the 5 or 6 from SA1, but whatever, I never really found it to be a problem compared to its predecessor. And yes, I actually have played both of them. I've gotten very far in SA2. I'm going to be honest, I actually just now unlocked the last story. I never really got to finishing it considering it's really hard. But I did finish the Dark and Hero story, and I actually have beaten SA1, so yeah, I haven't ever beaten SA2. But I think I've gotten far enough to, give a fair enough opinion on it, enough. Just enough, Yeah, so the 3 playstyles are the action stages that are played by Sonic and Shadow, the mech stages that are played by Eggman and Tails, and finally the treasure hunting stages that are played by Knuckles and the newcomer Rouge the Bat. I don't really like the treasure hunting stages too much, if I'm being honest with you, though. Especially Mad Space, which Rouge plays. And though it's level 12 of the 14 in the Dark story, even if it's so close to the end of the story, it sucks so much. Each character gets a new ability every once in a while playing the game. Well, except for Rouge for some reason. I don't think she gets any abilities. I'm not entirely sure, but I don't really think she gets any. Yeah, so the reason that I don't really have a lot of memory of if she gets any abilities or not is because I started playing the game when I was about 9. I'm almost 11 now. I just took a break from the game. Well, it wasn't necessarily a break. I just ran out of my now subscription on my PS4, so I couldn't play the game anymore. But then, I started playing the game for a bit, stopped playing it again, and finally went back and got as far as I am now, which is whatever the heck the name of the last stage is. I don't even remember what it's called. Yeah, so like I said, I don't think Rouge gets any, but whatever, it doesn't really matter. Sonic and Shadow get an ability that I forgot the name of, but it's basically just the light speed dash from SA1. But you don't have to charge it up by spin dashing for like 15 years. You just go right across the Trail of Rings, no problem, with just the click of a freaking button. This game is also responsible for the iconic stage, City Escape. But to be honest, no other stage in the game is iconic, but whatever, I really don't care, to be honest. Any music? My gosh, man, well done, Crush 40, well done. The main vocal theme for this game, which is, by the way, called Live and Learn, is absolutely amazing, bro. But the only reason that I put this game at number 5 is simply because the treasure hunting stages are such a drag and are very annoying to get through. And with that being said, man, let's just move on to number 4. Number 4, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, or Sonic 3K for short, or just Sonic 3, whatever you want to call it. It had to turn up somewhere on this list, and well, here's its spot. And this is actually the most recent Sonic game I beat. Well, besides SA1, I beat that game more recently than this one. So, update, I actually finished Sonic 1 for the first time. So yeah, now that's actually pretty inaccurate. I got really close to finishing SA2, like I said earlier. But let's move on. But man, did I have a blast while playing this game. I think this is no doubt the best classic Sonic game of all time, simply because of the level design and the music, of course. The music for this game is absolutely amazing. The stages are even larger than the ones in Sonic 1 CD. Okay, maybe saying CD was a stretch, considering every single CD stage has 3 routes. I'm not freaking joking, every single stage has 3 routes. But still, man, the levels in this game are so dang fun, and the game's music is absolutely unforgettable. And who could forget the newcomer Knuckles, series staple? And I am personally an absolute giant fan of how Knuckles at the start of the game is your enemy, but then later on, he becomes your partner after realizing that Robotnik tricked him into thinking that Sonic's the bad guy, I guess, I don't know. Well, Tails is here, I guess, but Tails is actually by far the most useful in this game of the classics. I'd say probably of the series in general. There's so much parts in the game that are required to go so high up in the air. And if there's any enemies that are annoyingly hard to avoid up there, or it's just generally hard to get up there, then plug in a player 2, start flying, and have Sonic jump on your Tails, and bam, you're flying. And there's also, of course, Hypersonic. You really only able to unlock him at like, I would say half the game, but I think that the Sonic and Knuckles half is actually shorter than the Sonic 3 half, but whatever, man. I'm not trying to do math here, bro. I'm not. Yeah, so conveniently the script also now says the Sonic and Knuckles half of this game is great as well. Yeah, man, a lot of the stuff that I say is not on the script. I just feel that it's necessary to add them. It's not called filler. Don't arrest me. And as if the game wasn't great enough already, you can play as Knuckles. Yeah, Knuckles' story takes place after Sonic's story. And Tails, I guess. And it's actually the hard mode, considering Knuckles can't jump as high, making some of the platforming harder to work with. But regardless of the low jumping kind of being annoying sometimes, the game is amazing on its own ways. I love it, and now will always continue to. Number 3, Sonic Colors DS. This is the first Sonic game that I ever freaking played. And still to this day, since 2014, this is still one of my favorite games in existence. This game is often considered the Sonic Rush 3, and rightfully so, man. This game uses the Rush engine, which I think was a good enough choice, but I think they literally should have gone with a 3D game entirely, considering 3D games were possible on the DS, but I'm not really surprised that they didn't go with the 3D game, and I don't really consider it a problem, honestly. And this game tackles all the same zones as the Wii version, but removes multiple wisps. In fact, it seems like they removed all the bad ones, like the cube was, for example. The wisps are pretty fun and useful in this game, in my opinion. Well, for the most part, at least, I guess. I don't really think all of them are that good too much, but who cares, really? The bosses in this game are absolutely amazing, bro. They're way better than the jokes that are in the Wii version. The story is also better in the DS version. And it's not like the devs just added in pointless jokes for no reason. It sounds like they actually care about the story in the series, you know. We don't need pointless jokes for having a really good game. So yeah, I definitely recommend playing this game. It's undoubtedly the best Rush game and 2D game in the whole franchise, honestly. Number 2, Sonic Colors Wii. I had an absolute freaking blast playing this game when I first got it. In fact, I actually finished the whole thing in just one day, surprisingly. And I started this off talking about the music, and oh god, it's freaking amazing, bro. I've heard some people say that it's the weakest of the franchise, but I really don't think so. I consider this game to have some of the best music in any Sonic game up to date. The level design sure can sometimes get boring, and well, 6x per zone is a bit too much, but you know, regardless, I still absolutely love the game. So now let's just move on to the final segment of this video. I'm definitely ready for this video to end. I'm running out of air. And my number 1 pick is no other than Sonic Adventure 1. I played this game on my PS4, which is the PS3 version of the game. That's SADX, Director's Cut. But to be honest, I really don't think this game has the best music of all the games. But I still think it's good enough. This game's got 6 main stories and one last story that you'll get for beating all the other ones. Tales story was actually the first story that I finished, believe it or not. You can unlock characters by either finishing a certain bit of the game with a cutscene, or just straight up talking to them, or actually fighting them. Yeah, fighting them. The first story that I'll talk about is, of course, Sonic's story. Sonic's story is by far the longest story in the game compared to most of the others that usually will take about 1 hour to beat. Sonic's will take about 2 hours, if you know what you're doing. Sonic really doesn't have any special abilities besides the spin dash, but that really barely counts to be a special ability, honestly. So, yeah, Sonic does actually have the best story in the game. So, yeah, let's just move on to Tails' story. It's basically just all of the Sonic 1 stages, but it's a race between the two. And, yeah, there's a new level, but it's incredibly short, to be honest. And, then we've got Knuckles' story. It's just 1 or 2 rooms where you have to find the shards of the Master Emerald that are in... It's just 1 or 2 rooms from the stages that Sonic will tackle, but you have to find some of the other shards from the Master Emerald. So yeah, he's treasure hunting in this game. Next we've got Amy, which is, well, some of Sonic's stages, but not all of them. There's also this robot named Zero that'll chase you around in literally every single stage of the game. But I didn't really find that to be a problem at all. Then we've got Big the Cat, who is one of the multiple newcomers in the Sonic series that were introduced in the game. Big stages aren't at all based on platforming like the others. Instead, you'll have to use a fishing rod to catch Big's pet Froggy. Yeah, I really don't have much to say about this one. It's pretty annoying if you don't know what you're doing, but all you really have to do is spin the joystick immediately as Froggy's on the rod. Second to last, we've got the last new character of the series besides Chaos, E102 Gamma. All of these stages are basically just where you having to shoot a bunch of projectiles and do some Sonic stages, like Emerald Coast, for example. And lastly, we've got this story that you unlock after beating every single other story, which is Super Sonic's story. This one really doesn't have any stages, but instead just one boss, which is Perfect Chaos, the final boss of the game. And it's undoubtedly my favorite boss in the game, but it's pretty dang easy, honestly. Basically, you just have to get 1 or 2 speed boosts to turn into a bolt of lightning, and then you'll be fast enough to get your hit on Chaos. All this stuff is why I love Adventure 1. It's kind of flawed considering they just had to add in big story, and, well, most of the bosses in this game are absolutely terrible, but I still consider it really, really fun. And with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off, guys. See you later in the next video.